You never sleep with your feet pointing towards the door. They're like looking up your feet. They can tickle your feet. And I say that you cannot put the bed next to the pool because the pool is smelly. Why it's not good to put makeup with a window behind you? You look like a news anchor and the light is very bad. When they told me about their situation, I was like, are you kidding me?
DEEPXtra.
In a nutshell, Feng Shui is about understanding your environment and the energies around you and creating the best possible arrangements. How to place your bed in Feng Shui. Classic. Everybody wants to know where to put the bed in Feng Shui. This is one of my later videos. This is a recurring theme in my channel. I keep showing people how to place your bed because it affects how you sleep, and how you sleep will affect your well-being throughout the rest of the day. And people don't realize it. They think that, okay, I'm in bed, I'm asleep, it doesn't matter. But the going to sleep part makes a big difference in how you feel. So in this video here, I was like looking at the various positions in a standard room, which is good, which is bad, and people can understand why. Like I draw the pool and I say that you cannot put the bed next to the pool because the pool is smelly. I mean, nobody likes to sleep next to the pool, right? Do you? So I was showing people where is the best place and the worst place to put your bed in a kind of a summary. So there are several cultures which have absolute no-nos to where you place your bed. Like in Vastu, which is like Indian Feng Shui, Vastu Sastra, you never sleep with your head pointing towards the north. In Feng Shui, you never sleep with your feet pointing towards the door. A lot of them are to do with, like, that is the position that you will put your coffin in when you die. And so it's kind of very taboo to do so. But there is a practical reason to it. Like if you are sleeping with your feet to the door and someone opens it in the middle of the night, they're like looking up your feet. They can tickle your feet. It's very, very uneasy. A good analogy is try to sleep and pull up your blanket or your duvet so that your feet sticks out. How does that feel? Being unprotected, making you feel uncertain, makes you not go to bed well. I mean, once you're asleep, but the process to go to bed, it might be a bit turbulent. 3,000 years ago, for example, you would never sleep next to, with your head against a stove in Feng Shui, or under or above a kitchen. And back then, the stove had lots of fire, it's smoky. Of course, it's not a nice place to sleep because it's very, very chaotic. There's a open flame behind you. But fast forward 3,000 years later, our kitchens are no longer open flames with charcoal. We have like induction cookers, electric. It's not like that, but the rule still carries on. Most of the time, they come out from something practical, but whether they are still applicable today might feel like superstition. This one is actually my real clients. It was a family of 5. They're going back to their parents' home because they didn't have a home at the time. When they told me about their situation, I was like, are you kidding me? At that moment, I was like, okay, this is impossible. This has got to be a joke. You're meeting me just to tell me how sad your life is. And I realized that they actually wanted a solution. I was like, how do I fit 5 people in a room that's not even that big? I was cracking my head really, like how do I fit so many? And the kids are not small. They are like 10 years old, 11 years old. And so we discussed it and I understood them a bit. They are kind of used to sleeping on top of each other. But at the same time, I didn't want them to be on bunk beds. I want them to have a bit of sky, a bit of space above them. So we came up with this weird, strange solution of terracing the beds, which turned out quite well because everybody had a piece of their own space, yet the beds could be stuck against each other. And I think this video did quite well because people were firstly shocked, just as I was, about the whole situation. And then they saw the solution and it's like, hey, that's actually not bad. I think that was like one of the first times when people realized that by arranging a room, you can actually make the impossible happen.
So in a situation like that, is that Feng Shui or is that just good organization? And what's the difference?
It's a bit of everything. So if you think about it, Feng Shui is about creating the best possible environment for you. So it's a little bit like architecture. It's like ancient Chinese architectural planning and design. We are looking at the situation, the energies around you, and ensuring that you feel good about it. So there's a few principles behind it, which I can talk later if you want, about how to feel good in the space given all the different things that's happening around you. So in this situation, there's the door, there's a window, but there's also your parents, your brother, your sister. All these things are other sources of energy which we must acknowledge. So it's not just about putting the bed in the right spot. If everybody is fighting for the right spot, how do you kind of create hierarchy? Who gets the best, who gets the worst spot? And in this situation, I saw that the parents are different from the kids. Parents need more rest, kids want more energy. So I placed the beds in such a way that would reflect that. Oh, this is a very early video, one of my first videos. So at the time, it was more like I was just trying to go through all the different room shapes that exist in the world and trying to tell people like how would you do this? How would you do a narrow room? How would you do a big room? How would you do a small room? For me, what was interesting is that when you have a long and narrow room, people tend to put the furniture in the long and narrow way, like lengthwise. And in this video, I was trying to tell people to like fight your tendencies, do the horizontal way, put your bed in the horizontal way, put your table in the horizontal way, to kind of chop up the room and make it feel a bit less narrow. This is a very early video, and on hindsight, I actually would do a few things differently. For example, the square table, I would have oriented diagonally 45 degrees. So this is what experience gives you. You kind of realize things over time, and you realize that, okay, by turning the table 45 degrees, it would actually work even better. So it's not that it's bad, but it will be even better.
And this video, like many of your videos, has got millions and millions of views. What do you think it is that is making it appeal to people?
I don't know, it's crazy. So I mean, okay, from the day I became viral, I didn't even understand why it happened. I think it's because firstly, the content is quite refreshing. It's about doing your spaces in a very easy way. It's not like a DIY show where I paint things and make it look pretty. It's really about the logic behind why it works, why it doesn't work. My videos were made during pandemic times when people were stuck at home. They were very aware of their surroundings and they didn't know that they wanted to understand their spaces until my videos came out. Like little snippets of information like that was something that people maybe appreciated.
Is this kind of thing for anyone, or do you think that certain areas have more narrow rooms than others?
Definitely certain areas have more narrow rooms than others. Other places have rooms that are too big. I didn't realize until much later when I'm working with people from all over the world, every single country, and I realized that there is a cultural difference in the way spaces are designed or spaces are used. For example, a narrow room in London and a narrow room in Hong Kong would feel very different. Or a narrow room in New York would feel very different because people's needs are also slightly different. Like for example, in America, people would need slightly bigger beds, and in Asia, they would be totally happy with twin or single mattresses, or even sleeping on the floor. In the West, people wouldn't really consider sleeping on the floor. They would want a bed, they would want to have like storage underneath, whereas in Asia, they're happy to roll their things up and stuff like that.
And do the principles of Feng Shui stay?
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. Do the principles stay the same for wherever it is?
It's a little bit of human psychology, like how your space feels to you, how does it affect your well-being, your feelings. The difference is when people feel things differently. You know, East Asian people, we love money. So, so for us, like the wealth corner is very important thing. But it might not be the same for like other cultures. Like, small example. And then there are also other things like where you are in the world. Like Feng Shui also focuses on the compass, where the sun rises, where the sun sets, where is the sun during the most of the daytime. For most of us in the northern hemisphere, south, we regard it as, oh, that's the best direction, is a south-facing home, amazing. But for someone in Australia, they want something that's a north-facing home, and suddenly everything kind of reverses. We have to take into account what people like, what people feel, or what they prioritize, and also geographically where they actually are. So this is a video that was kind of designed to gain views, not because I wanted the views, but because people tagged me, it would naturally get a lot of views, and I responded to it. Is this influencer lady who just got a new place in New York, and she was asking people, how do I arrange my furniture? I found it quite a useful video anyway to talk about, because where you place your vanity is something that many people would face. So I was talking about where to get the light, which one is better, the pros and cons, so people can kind of decide for themselves. This one is not me giving an answer, it's more like me telling people the principles behind why it's not good to put makeup with a window behind you. You'll look like a news anchor and the light is very bad. And why it is good to put on your makeup in front of a window with nice natural light. The information coupled with this collaboration with Katie Fang that made it quite exciting for people to watch. It helps people kind of feel a sense of realness in the videos, because often I create some kind of like example, some generic thing and say, oh, you do this if it's like that. But here people can actually see an actual room, an actual person with an actual struggle.
How much do you pay attention to what the platform of TikTok or other social media wants you to do, and how much do you just do what you think is fun at the time?
Just after I became viral, And then when the views start to go down and I realized, oh no, something wrong, something bad is happening, like I'm not getting the views that I used to get. And I was trying to like claw in all these views. Like anybody who has achieved success and lost it will feel this kind of thing. So I was trapped in that loop for a bit, and I realized that the more I try, the more it's not going to work, because people can feel the authenticity of your video. They can feel that, okay, you're not being sincere here, you're just trying to get the views. And I realized that, you know what, just make your thing, just feel natural. If you get the views, you get the views. If you don't get, you don't get. Like even if you get 100 likes, 100 people have appreciated what you have said. It's more about being like just having fun, and that's the only way to get the stamina to keep making videos forever. You need to really enjoy it. So this is one of those videos that, like the collaborative ones, where people can see a situation. The difference about this video is that I have done a little sketch to show the before and after in 3D. And so people can really immerse themselves in the atmosphere. And I would draw the old plan, the old appearance of the room, and then erase it all and draw the new appearance of the room. So you can really see that I'm not cheating, it's the space, and I have just erased it and draw the same thing, and you realize that it can feel different. I think this video is a mix of people learning the information and also being impressed by the drawing skills. So it's a bit like watching someone draw something, and it's kind of calming and seeing it take shape. So I'm trained as an architect, I'm an architect, but even in school, I've always been the one who likes to draw. You know, there's always this nerd who likes to draw and do whatever they do, and I'm that person who likes to draw. And so my other architectural friends, they will be more focused on like renderings or 3D, the modern computer stuff, and I was the one who likes to just draw, and I always felt left out, that I didn't know how to use those softwares as well as them, and all I knew how to do was manual. Oh, I just love how social media is giving me this second chance to shine without technology.
Are you always looking for new ways to sort of represent spaces and their change, or are you pretty happy with these ones being your kind of calling card now?
No, there's no such thing as a calling card. People get bored. People will get bored. And I will get bored, come on. So I've been making the same thing over and over and over again, and I will get bored. So I try to kind of mix and match with something new, something fresh. Sometimes it's drawing, sometimes it's models, sometimes it's even like real life examples. People actually love the real life examples the most, but it's just a bit more difficult for me to find such examples sometimes.